And Sasha. Hello.
Hey, how's it
And I
going,
can hear
Derek?
you. Perfect. Awesome. I'm really looking forward to learning a bit more about your journey. We don't know each other very well yet, but I think by the end of this 30-minute session, we'll have a really good understanding of your business, your journey, how it came to be, and maybe even some of the unique struggles that you've had along the way. So I'm really looking forward.
Absolutely. I think we're about to get real intimate here, so I'm excited.
Perfect. Awesome. I will let you two begin the discussion. I'll just
Cool.
kindly step aside.
So
Awesome.
I'm really happy that we can be talking today. I'm going to jump in and I'm going to ask you a little bit about your story because
Great.
when you search on Google for boob tape, you come up. But first, give us a little bit of background on why that is.
On what? Sorry?
Just give us a little bit of background on how you started and why it is that it's boob tape. So.
Great. My name's Sasha. I am the founder of Boob Tape. And it's actually a very simple story on how it came about. I used to have the best boobs ever, and then I had a bunch of kids, and my boobs were never the same. So I literally tried every product out there. Nothing worked for me, and that kind of started on this whole journey and down this rabbit hole of what I could do to, kind of fix the situation. So that kind of led me to starting to play with adhesives and different materials. And then I came up with something that I really liked and started using it. And then my friends wanted to use it. And that's honestly how it started. And yeah, everyone told me, you should think about selling this stuff. And then now we have what we have today.
Cool. How long ago was that you started looking for adhesives and started to formulate the product?
Yeah, so that was in 2008. And then we actually opened our store, I think it was in February of last year. So
nice.
Yeah, I started playing with everything beforehand.
Nice. How many kids do you have?
I have two. So yeah, I have Sloan, who she just turned 2, and then I have Ronan, who's 4.5.
Okay, cool. So you're a very busy person. You're a mom and a business owner. But I want to get into how you got featured on Cosmo because it says that you're Cosmo's favorite sticky bra. So.
Yeah. So that was, I wish I could tell everyone there was this amazing secret to getting into Cosmo and this is how you do it. And honestly, this is what happened. One day, we heard from someone that we were in a Cosmo article. We literally had no idea. And this was really early on in the company. I mean, before we even had real legit packaging and everything, and their team had ordered a bunch of stuff from us. And so
wait, did you know it was their team that ordered from you?
No.
Okay.
I don't know anyone at Cosmo, nothing. So they had ordered it and tried it, and we didn't know, but they were basically doing a piece on comparing a bunch of different sticky bras. And so I think the reason why ours stood out is it was waterproof and sweat-proof, worked on big boobs, and held up. As a woman, a lot of those kind of silicone sticky bras, don't lift, and they're definitely not waterproof and sweat-proof. So.
Okay, yeah. That's cool. That's very good to know. So was that closer to 2009 or 2010? When
sorry, that was 2019. That was, or excuse me, hold on, 2019. Yeah, that was in 2019. Yeah.
So super recent. So what has that meant for your brand? Having Cosmo be we love this sticky bra.
Oh my gosh, that was, I think, we were all floored when, because Cosmo's kind of the holy grail for women when it comes. If Cosmo says it is, then it must be. So for us, it's really been one of those things where it's kind of legitimized our brand, especially being, a smaller company at that point. We were really tiny. And, it was just something that we were able to leverage. And I think the biggest piece was it allowed people to trust us, right? We didn't pay for placement or anything like that. And so people trusted that if Cosmo says we're good, then we must be good.
Yeah, that's a really good thing about like that social proof from the expert endorsement or like the as seen in. People are like, oh, well, I don't have to vet this company, right? So
Exactly.
now, so since that was 2019, can you tell us a little bit about like your sales trajectory and what you found is like working best for your sales? So like 2018 to 2020, like tell us about the difference in sales and how everything's going there.
Yeah, so we didn't launch our store till 2019. And when we first launched, I have to preface this with I had no idea what I was doing. So if any of you out there are watching and you're like, I have no idea what I was doing, I had no idea what I was doing last year. Okay, so don't worry, you have a chance. So I think the first year, kind of the first year we really started, or first 6 months, really started figuring out kind of how everything worked, right? We run our store on Shopify and kind of figuring out like the ins and outs and just really trying to understand shipping, inventory, and really trying to understand what customers wanted, and really figuring out all those little details. And then that's kind of after we figured that out is really pressing the gas on everything. So I think for our first year, it was a lot of hard work and a lot of prayer, and we were well into the six figures. And as our second year, we are going to be well into the millions. So for someone that has no idea what they're doing and just working really hard, I have no background in this stuff at all. I've never created a product. I've never had an online store, nothing. And a lot of it really, everything I've learned has come from, different conferences like this, from watching YouTube videos. I can't even tell you the amount of times that I've had like 7-year-olds on YouTube teach me like how to do stuff on like Instagram and other things.
That's the beauty of the internet.
Oh my gosh, it's amazing. And I think it's really cool because if you put the effort and you're consistent, you really just start seeing everything kind of like come to fruition. And along the way, there were definitely points where I'm like, oh my gosh, should I be doing this? Right? Am I going down the right road? Maybe I should give up. I think especially too, I had a lot of those points when we started running ads. And
on what platforms were you running them?
Facebook and Instagram. And some of the comments like people would make, they were so mean, about like our beautiful models and, just stuff like that where I'm like, I don't know. I took it personally, right? It really hurt my feelings because I know how much effort and work went into like those photo shoots and doing, those like ad campaigns. And, I think you just have to get to that place where you're just like, what, it doesn't matter what anyone else says or anyone else thinks. I'm just going to, keep going in the direction that I think I'm supposed to be going in and just pray your ass off. And I think that's kind of what I've been doing a lot of.
Well, that's good to know. I think that shows that if you're tenacious and you're willing to learn that you can grow a brand and grow a business. But like, what's one thing, I do want to go back to the models. We'll talk about that later. Yes, but yes. I want to know like, what's one thing that you learned during this journey that you're like, oh my gosh, this has definitely improved my store, and that you would like tell other fashion businesses that they should do this too?
Ooh, oh my gosh. I think the biggest thing, engage and communicate with your customers. Like, if there's a phone number, call them, right? If you have their email address, which obviously we all do because we're selling online, email them. The reason why our brand, I truly believe, has had so much success is because of our customers. Our customers told us they wanted more colors. We did it. Our customers told us that they wanted different adhesive levels. We did it. Our customers told us they wanted different shapes. We did it. Literally, we're about to, in several weeks now, launch 2 new things that our customers have all been saying, please do this. One is really large nipple covers, right? Because usually they only come in small sizes. So that's like one of our new things. And then the straight tape that we sell, we're actually doing in a much larger size as well.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, and that all comes from our customers. So what makes it really amazing is, when we started really engaging with them, and really listening to them and getting feedback. And they really understood that we really cared. On our ads, they go to bat for us. It's awesome to see on our ads, because they will literally be like, this is the best, you know, like team ever. Like, I love their products. You know, I'm like, you know, 36F, and this like holds me up. It's almost like we don't even need to say anything anymore, because literally our clients, our customers will just say everything for us. And, you know, as a brand, that's so important, because, you know, when you're out there on ads and you're trying to say stuff, you know, of course you're going to say something positive about yourself. But when you have woman after woman after woman, and some men do use our products, sometimes man, commenting, you know, and saying amazing things about the brand, that just like helps so much. And so I think, you know, really engaging and listening to them and making sure that they're happy and they feel heard is awesome.
Nice. Yeah, that definitely makes sense. When you have like users commenting and you have those kind of reviews, it makes it like for your customers to sell your product for you is amazing. And it cuts down on your own marketing.
Yeah. Yeah. And that has to do with like building that relationship with them, you know? So
I mean, that I now I want to talk about the post-purchase experience, right? So like you're getting all of these customers loving your brand. Like you were talking about shipping. So like, what does your shipping look like? And I was on your website and you have so many reviews, and obviously people are commenting on your ads. So like, what are you doing after somebody clicks buy to make sure that they're in the loop and they feel like they're part of the family?
Absolutely. So, you know, we obviously send them kind of like the standard emails, right? And one of the things for us that is really, really important, for me personally, and I know everyone is different on this, but for me personally, we keep all customer service in-house, right? And when I say in-house, I mean like in-house. The other thing too, again, this is like a personal choice. We do all our own shipping. And I mean, we're talking, we do a lot of shipments, right? But to me, that was just super, super important, because we like things packaged in a certain way. You know, we want everything done in a certain process. And, you know, obviously we didn't know that like COVID was going to hit and all these different things. So it was just interesting how that ended up all working out. But I think for us, those are just keeping everything in-house and keeping like total control over it. And really figuring out what are the best systems to be as efficient as possible, right?
Okay. So do you have like your own warehouse, or do you ship out of your retail location? Like how have you?
So we have no retail. We only do direct to consumer. We only sell on our website. So we have a lot of now like Chinese brands like trying to copy us, right? So you might see them on eBay, or you might see them on like Amazon, but it's all like counterfeit stuff. So we actually only sell on our warehouse. We don't sell anywhere or on our website and ship from our warehouse, and that's it. So
okay. That's good to know. So there's also another question that I wanted to ask about your manufacturing. So you get your things manufactured in China, which is what I saw on your website. So how do you deal, first of all, I know that there are some people who are looking to manufacture their own products. So how did you find a manufacturer, and how do you deal with like people, like how do you know that your manufacturer is not going to just like sell you out and start selling your trade secrets? I did see that you had some patents, but like how do you really manage that in China?
Yeah, so I think I'll give you the really short version. My personal experience is it takes a lot of hard work. I think, you know, I live in San Francisco. So I think when I started my company, I thought like, oh, this is going to be really fun. You know, I can like run this business and like do it on the side, you know, and hang out with my kids. And the reality is I like work like 18 hours a day, right? Because what happens is I'm working, you know, with my team and everyone during the day, and at night I'm dealing with China, which means I like get like no sleep. So I think that there's, you know, a couple things of, I tried looking at like, after I had been exploring a bunch of manufacturers and finding a bunch of manufacturers in China, I started looking at consultants that could help. And what I realized is I knew more about adhesives and textiles in a lot of cases than they did. So, and I'm like an obsessive person. So I just like became obsessed with finding the best stuff. We're actually, you know, looking at a bunch of other options right now in manufacturing in other places as well. So, yeah, and I think it's also, you know, just seeing what else is out there. You know, we have like a bunch of tariff stuff going on, right, between the US and China. And now, like I said, literally, like, you know, not that long ago, had no idea what I was doing. So I'm learning a lot in the process, right? And a lot of what I'm learning about is manufacturing, is, you know, freight shipping, right? Things I've never dealt with. And I think I kind of learn, and sometimes I get a little bit burned along the way, but I just like, you know, chalk it up to that's part of the process. And, you know, it's like the hard knocks, and I get over it really quick and just like move on to the next thing.
Nice, nice. So can you also tell me about like your first employee? Like, who was the first person that you hired, and like how did that work out?
Oh my gosh, this is such a great story. This is such a great story. So, you know, all my like girlfriends were like, you have to sell this stuff. You have to sell this stuff. And I'm here in like Silicon Valley, right? So everything's like super techy and, you know, big numbers and all this. And, you know, my husband and his friends were all in the tech world, and they were like, look, just start a store and see if you can sell one, right? Like if you can sell one, you might have a business. And so literally I started my store, and I'm not like an influencer, nothing like that, right? I'm just like a regular mom. And, you know, I started my store. I used the free Shopify theme debut, right? Like the whole 9 yards, which we still use, no joke. And I, you know, started, and I was like, okay, I just like posted on my Facebook and Instagram, and I was like, we'll see what happens. And I think the first day I got like 22 sales. And at that point I was cutting this stuff by hand. Okay. So I was like, so not ready, because everyone had said like, you know, like, see if you can get one sale. And that was like the lowest amount of sales we've ever done. And it just kind of took off, and women started telling other women about it. And so I posted on Facebook, and I was just like, hey, I need to hire someone today. You know, can anyone come help? And it was actually my doula from my daughter, Sloan. Amelia, I love you. And,
that's so cool.
You know, and she was like, I would love to help you. And she became like a big part of the team, and she actually had to move away, but she still works with us. And so that's one of the really cool things. You never know where help is going to come from, and she's amazing. She's still amazing. That's why we continue to work with her today.
Very cool. Very cool. So now I want to go back to your brand and like the types of models that you use. So I was looking through your Instagram, and you have like a lot of, even before like the Black Lives Matter thing, like you had a lot of diversity, because
yes,
I always look for that. I'm like, did they just post their stupid black square?
No. And I'm so glad you mentioned that, because I think that's one of the really important things, right? I feel like everyone's like doing that now because of the Black Lives Matter and all of this. Girl, we did it since day one, okay? And let me tell you, here's a little story. So I grew up in Seattle. My best friend growing up was Black, okay? My best friend today in the whole wide world is Black. I am Hispanic, okay? And even my last business partner many years ago, before I became a mom, was Black. It has never, ever crossed my mind to not have people of color, right? Like that's just my world. That's like who I'm around. And especially too, growing up around a lot of Hispanic people and Black people, a lot of, you know, women, colored women have really large breasts, right? And that's what we were really looking to solve for. And so I think it's never crossed my mind not to have them. We've had them, I think, literally at every single photo shoot we've ever done. The only photo shoot where we didn't have one was our very first one, because she didn't show up to the photo shoot, but literally every single one. And it's so important to me. I think even, you know, when I look at, you know, my daughter, right, and what I want her to see, and when she's, you know, looks at like mommy, like building this brand and like looking at the images and everything, to me it is so important to have diversity, right? And the other thing too, I think, to a lot of the brands out there that are like, do I do this or not, right? Do I really like focus on, you know, women of color or not, or whatever your demographic is? Literally, we sell almost 50% of our products to colored women, or at least they're choosing to purchase the darker skin tones. Okay.
Yeah, you have so many colors, so many colors.
Totally. Because the women asked for it. And so we wanted to provide it, right?
That makes sense. It's just like my makeup. It's like I'm wearing Rihanna's Fenty brand because like she has my exact shade. And like when you give people what they need, like for bigger boobs or different skin colors, like there's a market out there and people are willing to buy, and like people of color are willing to spend their money on things that work for them.
Totally. And I think I'm so happy that you saw that because, you know, sometimes because we do use a lot of women of color, you know, like Hispanic women or Black women, you know, I feel like, and we've even had some people comment right on our ads of like, oh, look, they're only like using women of color now. And our women, right, that use our product will be like, go to their Instagram, check it out, like since last year when they started, you know. So I think even though it is kind of like in vogue right now, we've been doing it since day one. And I think that shows that we're really authentic, right, to our beliefs and what the brand stands for.
I totally agree. Cool. Well, I'm glad we got to cover that. So there's, I don't even know how much time we have, but I do want to ask this question. How have you gotten so many reviews, and do you incentivize for your reviews, or like, do you have a loyalty program?
Great question. No, we do not. We do not. And I know this is, so many people are going to be like, what are you talking about? We currently have no loyalty program. We do not do discount codes.
Is there a reason? I mean, your products are pretty well priced and they work, but is there like another reason other than that?
There's several reasons. One, we deliver our product, right, at the best price possible for someone to afford it and for us to be able to function, right? So this is like number one, right? And that's why it's priced like where it is, right? Because we really wanted to make sure that all women, you know, could purchase this. So that's number one. Number two is we really wanted to keep the brand elevated. And when I thought about like building the company, I really wanted to have like a long-term thought process on this, right? So as a woman, when I shop, one of the things that I notice that I do is, let's say I'll find something like, I don't know, like a new chair for my living room that I want to get, or like a new pair of jeans. Well, I know there's a holiday coming up, right, in the following week. So I'm just going to wait, right? I'm going to wait to like purchase that when I know I'm going to have like a 25% off coupon. That's not what, I didn't want to do that, right? I want women to know there will never be coupons with us. We give it to you at the best possible price that we can, the price where, you know, the company is making money so we can, you know, pay all our team and still function and give you the best quality. And we can't discount from that, right? Which also, you know, helps kind of like train our customers to when they need the product to just buy it, because there's not going to be a better time to purchase the product, you know, in another week or another 3 weeks. So we have a very different kind of strategy, you know, when it comes to our customers and not doing discounts or anything like that. So I know that there's, especially with like a lot of like the Chinese knockoff stuff that's coming out right now, you know, they do like huge, you know, it's like a price under us. And then there's like, here's a 50% off coupon. And then you read all the reviews and they're like burning themselves with the product, right? Because it's not quality. So
I have to come in here and talk about this. This is so controversial that I have to just step in. So absolutely no discounts, completely stand by that. I think it's brilliant. And I think the brands that pull that off win in the long run. And you have a product that people buy the brand because they know the brand, they trust the brand. And so there's loyalty just built into the product. So, but maybe there's something else you can give, maybe not the core product, but you find other complementary products that you can give away for free. You need some way to make it easier for them to share about you, is all I really care about. Like, you know, just like, it's not enough to just say, I don't know, here's our website, send people to us. And I'm sure that works, but yeah, if that's working, right? If your email, you're like, email is like, instead of a loyalty program, just forward this email and have them sign up, or, you know, have them buy from us. If that works, imagine if you added an ounce of a loyalty component to it, how that would double or triple the number of customers that you have coming in from your existing customer base. So between that and the social proof element of some sort of social sharing component and posting online about the product, I feel like there's got to be something that you unlock. But I'm totally good with the idea of, let's not worry about it now. Things are working fine. And one day we'll move into a loyalty program when we launch a whole new product category or something like that, that we can give away for free as an add-on or a bonus product to our core product. So that's my rant on it.
I think when you look at like a lot of the brands that have loyalty programs and have stood the test of time, right? And you look at like the brands that have really executed them the best out of anyone, I would have to say it's, you know, something like Sephora.
I was going to say Sephora.
Yeah, and Sephora has nailed it. You know, it's like I've spent so much time talking to some of like the top people in the Valley about this and really picking their brains and trying to understand, you know, what are the, you know, the pros and the cons, and obviously everyone's business is different. And one of the things that I found, which has to do a lot with what you're saying, Derek, is they don't do like a typical, you know, loyalty program in the fact that, hey, you know, here's like a discount code or anything like that, right? They're giving you kind of like these free little mini things. And what I love about that is no one knows how much those things cost, right? Women love, and some men, you know, when men and women shop there, love getting something for free, but there's no monetary value associated with that. And it's just kind of incentivizes you to really spend more. So I'm a huge fan of that. You know, we're such a young baby company, right? I hope like we get there in the near future, but I have to agree. And, you know, just a caveat, you know, we have made a decision to do it this way, and that's just, you know, a personal choice and for us. And I know there's tons of different strategies that people have, and I think that's what makes each business unique, because everyone has different strategies. So I think it's just focusing on kind of like looking at like, what are your goals? You know, what are you really trying to achieve in the short term and the long term, and then finding the best strategy for yourself.
I props to you for focusing on the things that you want to do absolutely right and holding back on this one. So I think it's amazing. And with that, I will kindly go away again.
I love it. Well, I was going to ask you what's next for your brand. Like what do you have coming up next? You said you had those 2 new products, but what else?
Yes. Oh my gosh. So we have actually something really big happening in the next month here. It'll probably be in about 30 days. We are actually relaunching the whole company. We're new website, new photo shoot, and new name, which is really, really big. And the reason why, because we get so many knockoff products now. And, you know, kind of in my story before where I told you, you know, I just started a site for fun, you know, seeing if anyone would buy, not knowing everything would really just explode and take off. I just, you know, did Boob Tape and, you know, buyboobtape.com, and that was it. I didn't really think about naming it or anything. And so the problem with having the company named Boob Tape, which is the current name, is you cannot trademark it. And so we really need something that we can trademark, just so that we can battle, you know, all the counterfeit stuff, you know, that we're seeing like with our products and everything. So yeah, that should be launching in.
That's exciting. So how are you going to keep your same URL, or how are you going to like migrate and keep all your SEO and all like your, I mean, I'm sure this is pretty boring, but like, I'm interested to know, like, how are you going to keep your ranking? Like, how are you going to maintain that?
Yeah, it stays like the top one. So that is a great question. We've actually like talked to a million people about this, of how do we do that? They've given us a bunch of different, you know, kind of like thoughts and strategies and everything. We actually ended up talking to some of the team at Google to like really try and understand, being here in the Valley, right, of how can we do that? And their answer was, I mean, we went direct to the source, and they were like, look, there's no guarantee. You can try whatever, but it's so big and the machine is so big now that there's no like real way. So we're really going to try and we're going to do our best. And, you know, again, like my other token, you know, that has really helped me is just like pray my ass off that it works, and hopefully it will. You know, we went viral on TikTok. One of our customers made a like literally like 10-second video on us on TikTok, and it ended up going viral like crazy. And so it's small things like that, you know, it's like our website is on there, right? When she had like posted about us, you know, and it was like millions and millions of views. So we're definitely going to forward, you know, our old domains to our current ones, but we're really going to try and push the new brand, and hopefully it works.
Okay, cool. Maybe you can call up Cosmo. They'll make sure that they re-review you under your new name. That's cool. Exactly. What is your new name?
It's Good Lines.
Good Line. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I like that. I'm like, just like, I'm like, I have bra lines right now. And they're not good. They're not good.
Exactly. And that's why I was really thinking. I mean, it took a long time because we've had counterfeit issues for a long time now. So it really took a long time to kind of like figure out what the name was. And we really wanted to focus on, you know, a URL that was like really simple, straightforward, modern, cool, and easy to spell. And, you know, everything just kind of like worked out with this one. So yeah, we're excited.
Cool. I'm excited for you. I mean, oh yeah. Also, do you ship to Canada? I didn't see that, but do you ship to Canada?
We do. We ship a ton to Canada, actually. We only market in the US, but we get a lot of overseas purchases. I'm not sure how.
We Canadians, we're always looking to see what the Americans are doing.
Got it. Yeah. That makes sense.
Very cool.
Yeah, we get a lot of, I think our biggest markets are like Australia, Japan, Canada is probably our biggest. And then we get a lot of UK.
Okay, cool. That's cool. And I think like you're right in the fact that like it's so much easier to trust you guys. I mean, because you have a lot of reviews and you were in Cosmo, but also like some of the other ones on eBay, I'm like these can't possibly work. Like they look scary. Like I don't want my skin to burn. So I could see why you're getting like those high income countries buying your product.
Totally. And I think the other thing is, you know, we really focus. Our kind of goal is no matter what, we want the customer to be happy, right? And so you know, if someone says, hey, I bought this strong and it didn't work for me, we're like, no problem. We're going to send you the extreme for free. And the extreme is like insane holds. We do not recommend you try that first, but there's a lot of women with really large breasts or really sweaty, oily skin, right? Where normal adhesives will just not work. And again, that was from listening to our customers and them telling us, you know, hey, this, you know, early on, this isn't working. You guys need something stronger. And I was like, girl, I will get you something stronger. Okay. Like, just give me a minute. And that's what we did. Right. And we continue to evolve. I mean, even if you look at like, you know, our Instagram, sometimes you'll see like a photo of me with, you know, white boob tape, which people are like, what are you doing? I'm testing a bunch of new adhesives, right? Like we just never stop. You know, it's always like, what's the new technology? What's, you know, what's better? And what's great is we have a lot of relationships now that we've developed where, you know, different manufacturers, whether it's in the US or South Korea or China or Mexico, will say, we've got a new adhesive for you. Do you want to try it? And I'm like, absolutely. Right. And so it's always like trying to find kind of like what's the next thing and how can we make our current products even better to make, you know, women smile. And I think with having free returns and free exchanges, like that's like the best, you know, possible thing that we can do.
Very cool. I like that. Free returns and exchanges. Cool. So what I don't have any other questions, but I'm just going to summarize. What I've heard from you is that you are a constant learner. You're very entrepreneurial. You're always trying new things, learning as you go. You listen to your customers first and foremost, and you seem to have very strong values, like giving your customers the best price and also having diversity in your brand. So like, I mean, did I miss anything about who you are in a nutshell?
No, that's so flattering.
No problem.
No, I think one of the big things that our company really stands for, and when we relaunch the brand, there's actually going to be a video about this on our site, and it's kind of like our ethos. And our ethos is, you know, lifting women, right? And not
I
just
really
with
like
our
that. It's like a double entendre.
totally. And it's not just about, you know, like lifting breasts, right? But we get, oh my gosh, it's so amazing, you know, emails and DMs from women. I got to wear my like dream wedding dress yesterday. I just wanted to say thank you to you, that I love your product. Or we get, you know, like from a mom, I haven't been able to wear a spaghetti tank top, you know, since I was in college. I feel like $1,000,000. Or, you know, women that are like, I can wear a bathing suit now and feel confident. And that's the whole thing, is like, we really want to like lift women's confidence and how they feel about themselves. And one of the other important things, the last one, and then I'll shut up, is we're doing business within our company very differently, right? And the whole thing is, you know, I worked with a lot of women over my career, and the most important thing, because it's pretty much an all-female team, is making the women that I work with the best possible business women that they can be, teaching them everything I know, literally, even when we're negotiating, you know, like one of them will like ask me for a raise. I'm like, okay, first of all, that was like the worst way to ask me for a raise. Let me teach you how to ask for a raise, right? And I go through with them, and it's like, you know, are they going to use that against me next time they ask for a raise? Absolutely. But I feel like, you know, I want to change the way that women work with each other, right? And the only way that I can do that is by being an example and creating, you know, and helping these other women really understand business and understand, you know, how to negotiate and how to represent themselves and how to carry themselves and all these things, and make them the best versions of themselves so that they can go out and do the same. And you have to lead by example. So a lot of the things that I do, you know, like my advisors will be like, Sasha, why are you doing that? You know, like that's like crazy. And I'm like, because it's more important to me to make sure these women, you know, are really learning and really understanding and being the best that they can be, so that they can take that out into the world. So I feel like, you know, just lifting women within the company and everything that we do as well, we just want to incorporate that into everything.
I love it so much. I love it so much. Thank you. I really appreciate you being part of this interview and helping to teach other people about your company and how they can also run their business. It's amazing. You're so cool too. And I love your energy. It's like, right
oh, thank you. No, this was awesome and so much fun. And you're just the best too. So hopefully we're going to do it again sometime.
Yeah. And I'll see you on Instagram, and I'll see you on Facebook too.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you both so much. And Sasha, I share a very similar passion. It's maybe a little bit odd, or considered odd as a man, to be so passionate about gender equality, but it is something that I really, really care about because, well, I mean, seeing it maybe secondhand with my wife and her being a short woman and how she has to struggle in the workplace to get any kind of attention, it just destroys me. And I know that it's easily solvable and that it's a stupid problem that exists and from kind of, you know, from systemic issues and all sorts of things. And so I push really hard on moving this issue forward too. So it's awesome to see that you're empowering women with your brand. I love it so much. And tomorrow we will be having a session with Shopping Gives, which will talk a lot about cause marketing, whether it's gender equality or another kind of cause that you want to be giving money to. That tool is really great at plugging in how to donate money in the checkout process for Shopify stores. Thank you both so much. And this is the end of the day. We have a whole nother day of sessions tomorrow, including 2 more brand interviews, a bunch of amazing technology showcases, and a lot more sessions. We're going to learn about customer service. We're going to learn about mobile optimization. We're going to learn from Farah about product detail page tweaks and skills we can install on our store, and a whole lot more. I look forward to seeing everybody back here tomorrow. And again, thank you too for sharing your story, Sasha.
Thanks. Have a good one. Appreciate it, Derek. Bye.
Bye.